Yeah, definitely fixated. Matter of fact, she still does that with TV. And she'll actually just stop and just look, and she'll just sit I mean, literally, they can get fixated on something, Clark, for hours. I mean, she'll sit and look at the TV and just sit and just look at it and stare at it for hours. I mean, literally. Yeah. Even when I had her out today, it's kind of funny watching her in the car. Even she'll fix on something and they just go into a trance. You know, is that what you were talking about, fixating, or?
Yeah, that or focusing on picking up something.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, yeah. Marsha always has. She's always got something in her hand. She's got something in her hand all the time, and she'll walk around with it, and she'll go. She want to give it to you. Okay. So yeah, that was one of the things. The other thing is. Yeah, even today, she got fixed on one of these little things on her, right? And she just kept, picking at it. Yeah, they definitely will do that. Yeah.
What would help that when she was in that stage? How could you break that by doing it?
What I would do is I would try to redirect her. I'd redirect her attention. I'd put a teddy bear in her hand, or I'd do something to kind of redirect. You know, now when they're by themselves, you know, they can do that stuff, and you're not going to be able to, know it.
So if you had to give like the top 3 or 5 things that people dealing with FTD would need to know as caregivers that would make their life easier, or important pieces of information, what would you do? What would be most important?
I would say, number 1. Once you understand the disease, and you make sure you understand what they've got. Is it FTD? And I would say that number 1 would be patience. You got to have patience. They don't know what they're doing. Number 2, I would say you allow time. It kind of goes with patience, but in your schedule and what you're doing, whatever. If you're a caregiver, you've got to allow time, okay? Just plan on it. Don't be surprised by what they do. It's okay. They're sick. Just remember that. It's not them. I had to keep remembering, it's not Marsha. She's sick. It's the disease. The other thing I would say is energy. Keep your energy up. They feel energy. Even to this day, as far as Marsha's gone, when I come in the room and I smile and I come in, she'll do this. She rubs her hand. They feel your energy. And if it's love, you gotta love them. They have to know they're loved. And particularly in the very beginning of this disease, it is so important that you acknowledge them, that you love them, that you just say, you hug them. It's okay. It's okay. That is so important. And even now, Marsha knows these other nurses, when they come in positive and, Miss Marsha, give me a hug, and she'll hug them, give me a kiss, she'll kiss them. That energy, make sure you stay positive with them, because they don't know. They don't know.
Excellent. You earlier described the converse, when she woke you up and you got angry and she got angry.
They will go with your energy. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground. Anything else that we missed that you wanted to?
I can't think of anything. I think.
How about this?
Yeah, I think pretty much we hit a lot of things.
What would you like to see changed in terms of?
Well, man, that's I tell you what, Clark. We need to. We just have to have more money, more research for sure at the high end, top level. But I think in the hospitals and I think that organizations like what you folks do, there has to be education. All right, people, they've got to start to learn about these diseases, and they've got to get educated. So I think education is so critical, not only for caregivers, but I believe for the hospitals and these facilities. They've got to understand that this disease, and it's going to come up more and more. The statistics are phenomenal, and they're getting it younger and younger. That's why Obama talked about, this is going to be a disease. It's about to be an epidemic. It's going to be up there, Clark, I believe, with cancer and with heart attack. It's maybe already there. It's happening all over, not just America now. It's huge in Africa. It's happening. So, and in other countries, they really know how to take care of these people. Companies like Norway, Sweden, they set up special communities, believe it or not, for people that they can live, and caregivers can live there with them. They know how to handle the disease better. We just don't know a lot about it. So I think education is very important for us. But for a while, Clark, I didn't want to know. You go through the whole thing like you go through with any traumatic thing in your life. First thing you go through is, you don't accept. No, that's not happening. Denial. No. Then you go through anger. You get angry, and why us? Why me? And so you go through all these stages. But being able to have that support group, being able to have Dr. Womack, share with you and show you. I mean, literally show you a brain of a real patient. Matter of fact, it was Hank's wife, and Hank said, "I'm okay. I want these men to know." So here's Hank sitting in the group with us, and this is his wife's brain, and what's happened over time, right? And then an autopsy. Wow, pretty heavy. I was very fortunate to be around that group and around Dr. Womack. But I think the biggest thing is just you're more prepared.
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power. It really is, and you can't be afraid of it. I mean, look. The worst part of this disease is about to come on me, okay? I mean, it really is. It's ugly. It's not pretty. Your loved one is fading away to nothing. Mine gone.
Does she talk at all?
It's funny. She does not say a lot, but today I told the nurse when I was at the hospital, I said, well, she doesn't really speak, And so she hit a vein wrong or something. And Marsha said, ow, stop. And she goes, she talks. I said, yeah, she does. But other than that, she didn't say another word. I mean, it's kind of funny. She couldn't put a sentence together that made any, she may say one word, you know what I'm saying? If something's hurting her or something like that. She did say, it's really amazing, Clark. I thought of this, she did, now whether it's rote memory, because we've been married 41 years, but I always hug, I always love on her, always, and I said, baby, and I look her in the eye and say, I love you. I love you. I want her to hear it. I love you. And she'll smile. The other day on Sunday, she said, I love you. It came out. I was like, wow. Now, was that real? Was it? But I think it was. I think that when you're soulmates, I think there's something that transcends the power of the spirit, the human spirit. It's amazing.
Knowing everything you know now and looking back at your journey, what would you have done differently?
Well, again, I think going back, patience, right? The whole thing about all that. But I do think that I would have taken these first signs, Clark, more seriously. I would have taken, because it took a while to get her diagnosed. It really did. And what happens is a lot of people go through a lot of agony and put their loved one through a lot of agony. It's depression, it's this, it's that. I would have probably pushed a whole lot harder just to find out, okay, what this.
Pushing is pushing you back against doctors.
Yeah, doctors. Yeah, not her. No, but
right.
against doctors.
Which is hard.
It is hard.
In our society.
It is hard. It's very hard because we're told to trust, and they're the smart ones. Well, you don't know what you're talking about. I got this. Don't worry about it. No, I would have done more research. I would have pushed harder. I really would have. And even when I found out what it was, I was lucky though, because I was with I was in that group, okay? I gotta tell you, if I wasn't in that group, Clark, I'd have been lost. I may have made some other big mistakes. And I would say that find help, find a group, I mean, even, and frontal temporal is a little harder. Even here, as you and I have talked, we don't have a lot of frontal temporal patients in here in this network here at Alzheimer's in Naples. You know, so I end up going to a support group and I'm listening to folks that are 75, I mean, they're older. Okay, and I get it, right? It's Alzheimer's, but that journey is totally different than mine. It really is. Because it's happening at a different time frame, an early time frame. So there's a whole lot more challenges here. Different, not, I won't say they're any worse, one's more than the other, but they are different. And you need to understand that, okay? That's another thing I think that getting that diagnosis, don't accept that somebody tells you, well, especially if they're young, don't accept that, oh, it's just Alzheimer's. What do you mean by that? What, you know, I'd ask more, dig more. You know, because again, it can be Lewy bodies, Parkinson's, like Michael J. Fox, it can be, you know, a number of things in there, man. MS is kind of, all that stuff's around the brain. And we actually see now, like Dr. Womack says, you'll see a lot of crossover, right, with these patients. Marsha's got these twitches now that are even worse. She's shaking and twitching all the time now. Her lips, you know, and then again, she's swallowing a little harder. It gets hard for them to swallow. But anyway, I think I would have dug in a little deeper.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Hopefully it's helpful to some folks.